Hello. Hope you all are having a great Friday. Weekend is here. Got some news today about Luis Suarez. Not the news that we were expecting or that I was expecting, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about this suspension that fix my hat real quick. We'll talk about the suspension that Luis Suarez was issued by Leagues Cup, and also there were some other suspensions issued by Leagues Cup as well. And then we're also going to read what Luis Suarez said or his apology. We'll get your guys' take about what he said, if you think it's sincere, him not addressing the person who he committed the incident on. There's a lot going on, some interesting things. Still disappointed. We'll get you guys involved, see what you guys think. But before we get into that, make sure you smash the like button down below. It helps us out. Share with a friend and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are 290 subscribers away, 290 from 10,000. So we're getting closer and closer. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. But I've seen some people too. I thought this was interesting. I've been tweeting every day. I didn't tweet about it today specifically, but I gave MLS a free pass on Monday because it was Labor Day. I didn't expect them to issue a suspension on Labor Day because it's a holiday weekend and it's a holiday, right? But Tuesday came and went. No word, right? No word. And I thought, okay, well, this is getting a little ridiculous. Wednesday comes, still no apology issued, no statement from Major League Soccer, nothing. And I thought, okay, this is embarrassing. Like, what the hell? How have they not issued just a quick apology, just saying, hey, what happened was inexcusable. It should have never happened. We take accountability, and we are going to do what we need to do to get this resolved, right? Nothing with that as well. And then Thursday, 4 days after the incident, 4 days, Luis Suarez finally puts out a statement apologizing for what happened. 4 days later. And then Miami put one out as well, which we'll read both of them. And I want to get your guys' opinion on if you think this is sincere. I didn't think it was, but we'll get your opinion, see what you think. Real quick, we got a $2 super chat from Adam. He says, why hasn't Don Garber put out a statement? We'll get into that, but and I appreciate the super chat. I don't know why he hasn't, but it's embarrassing that he hasn't put out a statement. That's really embarrassing. And because I see a lot of people saying that it's a Leagues Cup matter, but that's just not true. I've seen other examples in other leagues where it has carried over if you do something with the club or if you do something outside of the club, if you do something off the pitch, that there has been consequences for doing something wrong. So let's go ahead and read this apology. Okay. So Luis Suarez said, first, I would like to congratulate the Seattle Sounders on their victory in the Leagues Cup. Hell of a way he showed it right after the game. Hell of a way he showed it. Anyway, he says, more importantly, I want to sincerely apologize for my behavior at the end of the match. It was a moment of high tension and frustration, and while certain things happened after the final whistle that should not have, that does not excuse my reaction. I was wrong, and I deeply regret it. This is not the example I want to set for my family who suffer from my mistakes, nor for my club, which does not deserve to be affected by such actions. I feel terrible about what occurred and do not want to miss the opportunity to acknowledge it and apologize to everyone who felt disappointed by my conduct. We still have a long season ahead, and I'm fully committed to working together with my teammates to achieve the success what this club and its supporters truly deserve. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to give you my opinion on this apology, but I want to ask you guys, did this feel like a sincere apology from Luis Suarez? Did this feel like a sincere apology from Luis Suarez? Did he actually feel like he was being sincere, he meant it, or did it feel a little bit like he was gaslighting, like he was kind of like, just a weird tone with it. But to be fair, I don't even think he wrote this. I don't think I mean, do we really think he wrote this apology? Do we really think that he sat there? And obviously, this is a translated version that Favi shared. But do we really think that he wrote this apology? Do we really think that? I don't think he did. Um, Cringe says he meant it. Wade says no. Mister says it's as sincere as his apology to Chiellini. Sam says not when it is a pattern of racism, biting, spitting, cheating. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I obviously his actions or his physical actions have not been good. I don't know anything about him with being racist or anything. Headless Lucas says he's never specified to who he is trying to apologize. David says he was coached. Too canned. Okay. So I think it was insincere for a multitude of reasons. Okay. The first thing is he didn't write it himself. Okay. That's obviously insincere because these aren't his words. That's not sincere. You need to have your own words if you're going to be sincere about an apology. That's number one. Number two, there was a tone in this of like, let's see, let's just read this. I want to sincerely apologize for my behavior at the end of the match. It was a moment of high tension and frustration. And while certain things happened after the final whistle that I should not have, that does not excuse my reaction. It's like, first of all, you shouldn't even be talking about this. High tension and frustration. Like there should be no even like hint of validation for that. Like there shouldn't even be a little bit of, yeah, there was high tension, high frustration, but hey, it never should have happened. No, it should just been like, hey, it should never happened. I was wrong. None of this high tension frustration. Should not do that. And then the fact of it's not an example I want to set for my family who suffer from my mistakes. Like just you take accountability. Don't even mention your family. You take accountability. You don't even need to mention them or what they think about. It's you. This is you. In my opinion, this is you. And the thing I think that bothered me the most is that he didn't even mention the guy who he spit on. That, I mean, if he had, like, why did they not mention the security guard, head of security? I don't remember his name, but I didn't spit on him. So, I mean, I think I should get a free pass. I don't remember his name, but, Luis Suarez definitely could have got the information of who this man was that he spit on. Why couldn't he have said, hey, Mr. We would say John Doe, right? John Doe, I am so sorry that I spit on you. Please, I apologize to this man privately. And he accepted my apology or whatever. Just like put it out there that you apologize to him. Put it out there that you apologize to him. And there's nothing of that. Zero of that. That's a problem. I think he definitely should have put that he apologized to this guy or called him, like say, hey, yes, we've worked it out. Me and this man have spoken and everything is good now. We're on good terms. He's accepted my apology. So that didn't happen. So I just think this apology is frankly bullshit, honestly. I think it's bullshit. And I think that, some people say, well, what else do you want him to do? It wasn't sincere. The guy wasn't named and it was 4 days late. I think that might be, I don't know what's the worst part. I don't know if it's worse that the guy wasn't named who he did the action to, or that it was because it was 4 days late. I don't know. I don't know which one is worse. So that happened. And then let's see. This is Inter Miami put out a statement 4 days later. Inter Miami condemns the altercations that took place following the conclusion of the Leagues Cup final. These actions do not reflect the value of our sport, and we remain committed to upholding the highest standards of sportsmanship both on and off the pitch. We are working closely with Leagues Cup and MLS officials to ensure the situation is addressed appropriately, and we thank our fans and community for their continued support. Okay. So this, and as you can tell, I commented, you're full of shit. But why this means nothing to me is similar to the Luis Suarez apology. It's 4 days late. Why was this not? Now, this is something you could have said the night of, the day after, 2 days after. Like, do we really believe do we really believe that the Inter Miami board, whoever is in charge of making statements, I mean, Jorge Mas, Jose Mas, David Beckham, whoever, it took them 4 days to write this. It took them 4 days to write this. 4 days. And no apology to the man either that Luis Suarez spit on. No recognition, no there's no words of even acknowledging that happened. And just a very generic apology by Inter Miami. So I just think that this is BS too. This is a very, very weak apology. It's very weak. Very weak. And it honestly feels like the only reason that they are Michael Belly says sounds like a chat GBT grade apology. It might be. It might be. It just feels like they only apologize because there was a lot of public pressure to say something. Like that's the only reason why they actually did anything. So I want to know, do you guys think that the Miami or the Suarez apology was worse? Was one of them worse than the other? Were they both equally bad? I mean, are any of you believing this? Like, is anybody believing this chat GBT quality apology? Is anybody believing this? Do they deserve a free pass? Mr. Mister says he should be banned for the next 6 to 8 games minimum. Tony says, think this he spat on the guy he spat on will sue him. Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a lawyer or anything. I don't know the law I don't know the law in Washington State, but some friends who live there of mine said that they that spitting on someone is assault. Like you could sue for doing that. You could sue for doing that. Angus says he should be sued in a civil lawsuit. Inter Miami should have taken disciplinary actions against Suarez themselves. They should have. They should have said they 100% should have. They 100% should have. And we're going to read, there was a punishment today for some of these players, but it's by Leagues Cup. We're going to read that here in a second. Let's see. Guys, we have 80 of you in the chat right now. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Let's see how many likes we got. We're at 15 likes. Come on, we got 80 in the chat. Let's try to get to 100 likes. Smash the like button if you haven't already. And hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of my new videos or live streams, emergency live streams, all the stuff like this. And remember, only 290 subscribers away from 10,000. Guys, we're so close. So close. I think we can hit 10,000 before the MLS Cup playoffs start, which is 6 weeks. We got 6 weeks to hit 10K. I think we can easily do that. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so let's get into the actual punishment that was issued because this is where it starts to get a little dicey and this is where it gets a little frustrating. Mr. Mister, a member of the channel, says if the club had anything about them, they'd internally ban him from the next 6 to 8 games. Obviously, Garber doesn't have the balls. I think that there is some truth to that. So let's get into this next part. Let's get into this next part about the suspension. Okay. So Jose Nunez reported this, but I think this is kind of like been shared around. He says the Leagues Cup has handed the following suspensions following the brawl. Luis Suarez has been issued a 6-game suspension. Sergio Busquets has been issued a 2-game suspension. Toto Alvarez is a 3-game suspension. Sounders coach Steven Lenhart has received a 5-game suspension, and this is solely for Leagues Cup. MLS has yet to respond. Okay. And we're 5 days post incident now. We are 5 games post incident, and these are the suspensions that have been issued. 6 games to Luis Suarez, like I said, Sergio Busquets 2, Toto Alvarez 3, Sounders coach Steven Lenhart 5, and that is only for Leagues Cup. Okay. Only for Leagues Cup. So here's the issue. First of all, why wasn't Maxi Falcone in this suspension? He had a guy in a headlock. And he didn't get a suspension. Nothing. After having someone in a headlock, nothing. How is that even possible? How is that possible that Maxi Falcone, who had a guy in a headlock, didn't get a single game suspension? How's that even possible? And only I don't and Sergio Busquets punched a guy in the face. I mean, yeah, it's a sucker punch. I mean, he didn't like knock him out, but he punched Obed Vargas in the face. How'd he get 2 games? Now, here's the okay, so this is the main issue with this suspension, okay? So, Luis Suarez got a 6-game suspension in Leagues Cup, right? He probably won't even be in Major League Soccer next year to play those games. He'll probably be retired at that point because there's already rumors about him going back to Uruguay and finishing his career out with Nacional. So if he's not going to even be in Leagues Cup to play this to get to serve out the suspension. So this means nothing. This is just very hollow. Like, yeah, 6-game suspension Leagues Cup. He won't even be playing in Leagues Cup probably next. He won't be here. MLS has to intervene and do something about this. And the reason why I think MLS is more should take action on this, well, besides it being obviously a terrible thing that he did, right? And all these guys did, but Luis Suarez definitely had the worst of all these guys, is the fact that it was between 2 Major League Soccer teams. Yes, it was between it was in Leagues Cup and not an MLS match, but Leagues Cup is essentially regulated by Major League Soccer and Liga MX, but mostly Major League Soccer. This isn't CONCACAF. This is Leagues Cup / MLS. So they are kind of overseeing this tournament to begin with. So why this is frustrating is it feels like the MLS is using a loophole to not suspend him in the regular season. Rosie says, so basically they got away with it. Very sore losers, crybabies. Yeah, this just feels to me like this is a loophole to where they don't have to miss any MLS games. We had Fabi on Monday, and me and him were talking about this whole incident. We were talking about this whole incident, and we both agreed that it would be almost impossible for MLS to not do anything. Yet here we are, 5 days later. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. Nothing. 5 days. What type of internal investigation do you need to see to do this? Like, if Leagues Cup is able to, which is kind of, like I said, MLS it's an extension of Major League Soccer. If they were able to come to this conclusion of 6 games, 2 games, 3 games, 5 games for Steven Linhart, why has MLS not been able to do this? Why has MLS not been able to issue anything? This is a way for them to use a loophole to not suspend anybody. Now, Francisco says Garber is scared of Messi. I don't think he's scared of Messi. I don't think maybe a little bit, but I think it's more of the fact that he doesn't want to take away Miami's key players and hurt them in a that he doesn't want to hurt them down the stretch of the season because they know how profitable Inter Miami are for the league. I mean, let's be honest, that's true. I don't agree with it, but that's true. They don't want to hurt Inter Miami because they need them in the playoffs to be good. And they need them to have a high seed. They need them to advance. So I think MLS doesn't want to hurt them. They don't want to hurt anything that can hurt Inter Miami. And like I said, the loophole too of this is because I don't think Luis Suarez is going to be here next year. So when he plays in Nacional, it doesn't matter. So they can say, "Oh, we gave him a suspension. He just doesn't play here anymore. We were, if he was still with Miami, he wouldn't be playing in these games. He's not going to be here." Wade says, "I am completely in favor of handing out punishments to both sides. I just can't believe that there won't be a punishment for this behavior. This is reward Miami for bad behavior. What a effing joke." And Mr. says, Garber's worried about viewing figures. He is. That's 100% true. He doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize Miami because they do want them to make a deep playoff run because it benefits the league. Let's be honest. It's true. It does benefit the league. It does benefit the league if Inter Miami makes a deep run. It does. Let's be honest. Let's not lie about it. But that doesn't make this okay to not suspend people who have done bad things. It doesn't make it all right. We just got to be honest about it. We have to be honest. Anybody who's a fan of any team in this league knows that Miami makes this league more money. They are going to make them more money if they make it further. Let's just be honest. But that doesn't make it right. And, Favi said something the other day that proves kind of like this whole point. He said, don't suspend Luis Suarez. Keep in mind, I want to suspend him for the rest of the regular season. Like, at least give him a 9-game suspension. He can come back for the playoffs. But if you remember, Favi the other day said, don't suspend Luis Suarez for the full 9 games. Give him 6 games to give him 3 games to get reacclimated to the team for the playoffs. No, like that's what I'm saying, but that's how they think. That's how probably some of these people think at the league. Like Favi is just kind of thinking like in their minds, like in their shoes, right? To get them a chance to get him reacclimated and not have to have his first game back in the playoffs. So this just feels like it feels like BS. That's just the simple way to put it. It's BS. It's embarrassing that MLS has not taken a more severe punishment, and it's BS that it's taken this long to do it, and there's nothing really to be seen. I mean, look, we'll play it again for you guys. Let me pause it. We'll share it. I mean, we can play it on loop if you want to. I mean, the guy spit on this old man. Hell, I think we can slow it back. We'll slow it back so you can see it like perfectly clear. Let's watch this again. There you go. Slow motion. Spits on the guy's face. No suspension, no statement for Major League Soccer whatsoever because of this. No statement from MLS, anything from the league at all for that. I mean, I just don't understand how what is controversial. And let me try to find this. I don't like. I know there's always going to be trolls. I know there's always going to be trolls about this, but the people that are defending, like saying that this isn't a big deal, or that like that I need to get over it. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? I mean, am I in the wrong for thinking that Luis Suarez should get a suspension? Like, I don't understand how this is controversial to want someone who spits on someone to be, held accountable. It's disrespectful. It's disgusting. And it has no place in soccer or anywhere. I mean, nobody should be spat on. Like, I just don't understand how that's controversial to think that there should be severe punishment for this. Real Deal says Messi is much bigger than Major League Soccer. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't mean you get to do whatever the hell you want. Francisco says, wait and see how opposing fans will receive Suarez at away games. Kenny says Miami is the favorite's child. Mr. said, we saw Jalen Carter ejected. Exactly. We did. Last night, we saw Jalen Carter for the Philadelphia Eagles spit on Dak Prescott and get ejected from the game first before the game even started. Well, it started. It was the first play on defense. But I want to say this too. Now, Favi told me this. I trust Favi. I could be wrong, but I trust Favi on this. He said that, and Wade became a member of the channel. Wade, I appreciate you for becoming a member of the channel, my friend. Favi said that when Hector Herrera had his spitting incident with the Houston Dynamo, that it was the second to last game before he went to, I forgot what club he plays in Mexico now. Is it Pachuca? I don't remember what team Hector Herrera plays for right now. Either way, that doesn't matter. What kind of does, but not my point. We'll get there. We'll get there. But he spit on the ref at their feet while they were turned around and got a 3-game suspension by Major League Soccer. Well, the Houston Dynamo declined Hector Herrera's option. They declined it. They weren't going to renew him. Too expensive. Didn't think he was worth the money. Okay. So Hector Herrera got suspended for 1 game. He had a 2-game pending suspension in Major League Soccer, and then he signed with the Liga MX team. Well, the Liga MX team he signed with upheld the suspension from Major League Soccer because he spit on a ref. The Liga MX team he signed with upheld his suspension because he spat on a ref. So Even a team that didn't even have to do that upheld a suspension. So, like, there is precedent for this. And there was also another, I can't remember exactly what the player that did this, but there was another example of a player in MLS getting suspended for something they didn't do in league play. So, um, that's there's precedent for this. And we see it in the NFL, we see it in the NBA. If you get in trouble off the court, even if you do something that's not during a game or at the arena or at practice, we have seen precedent where you get suspended or punished for doing something bad, even if it's not at the game. So, okay, let me ask you this. Now that it looks like Inter Miami are going to get away with an absolute crazy, crazy situation. They're not, no punishment for doing these things for at least league play. How pissed off are you at Major League Soccer? Like, how disappointed are you? Like, just try to put it into words. How disappointed are you? And honestly, tell me how disappointed you are 1 through 10. It looks like it's just not going to happen. Like, one, you are, you know, not disappointed at all, like you don't really care, or 10, like, dude, I'm pissed. This is unacceptable. How the hell could Major League Soccer not suspend Luis Suarez, Maxi Falcone for putting a dude in a head? Like, how did Maxi Falcone not even get a Leagues Cup suspension? That right there blows my mind. Honestly, that blows my mind that he did not get any type of suspension for putting someone in a headlock. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. RLB Film says MLS is boring without fighting. I mean, dude, you can get chippy and fight. You don't have to spit on an old man. That's the part that's bad. I mean, you shouldn't be spitting on an old man. Wade's an 11 out of 10. Kenny is 100. Wayne is a 10. Angus is 110% pissed. Kevin says he's not pissed. He's not disappointed at all. David Jimenez says 11 out of 10. Francisco says, I live in South America. MLS takes 1 step forward and 2 steps back, image wise. I agree. Wade says, dude, I'm pissed. This is absolutely crazy. Old has-beens can come here and do what they want. All right. And that's another thing, too. Look, here's the thing, too. It's no secret that it's no secret that I'm a Barcelona fan. Maybe some of you guys don't know that, but I'm a huge Barcelona fan, okay? That is probably the one club team that I support in the world is Barcelona. That is my team. I love Barcelona. They're one of the teams that made me fall in love with soccer, okay? So I love Barcelona. Hate Real Madrid, by the way. So sorry if there's any Madrid fans in the chat right now, but hate Madrid, love Barcelona, okay? So I have an admiration for Messi because of what he did for my club. He's the best player of all time, right? I do like Messi as a player because he played for my team. I'm not a fan of any Major League Soccer team, but I do think Messi's the GOAT, and he played for my favorite club of all time. So obviously, I have an admiration for him. I like him. I think he's the best player of all time. But I'm not a fan of Miami, okay? So I have to put that out there. I say that because it feels like Messi and his friends, and by friends, I mean Busquets, Suarez, Alba, they feel like they can do whatever they want on the pitch. And if you've watched Barcelona, and I talked to Fabi about this, you saw Sergio Busquets, his entire career at Barca, he never really got into any fight. He never was like a guy that was in the brawl. He was not a guy that was going to get in trouble. At MLS, he's gotten chippy. He's arguing with assistants. He's punching players. Now, Luis Suarez has obviously always been a hothead. He's bitten players and all kinds of stuff. But he spit on a guy because he thought he could do whatever he wants. He's grabbing people by the necks. Jordi Alba pushes players. He screams at players. He yells at refs. I mean, Messi's grabbing players by the back of the neck. He's cussing players out. They didn't act like this when they were at Barcelona. They just didn't. That didn't happen. They did not happen. Real quick, Adam with a $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Says, do you think this would be a different? Do you think if this would be a different team, would Garber put out a statement? Yes, I do. Actually, I do think so. I do think if it was a different team that this would be handled a lot differently, but I believe that they have way too much invested in Inter Miami to hinder them in any way. So yes, I do think that that's true. I 100% believe that that is true. I believe that. I think it would be true. If this was Paul Rothrock spitting on a ref, or excuse me, a Inter Miami security guard, and Obed Vargas punching a player in the face. Like if Obed Vargas had punched Sergio Busquets in the face, then it would be he'd definitely be suspended for the rest of the year, like 100%. Like that would definitely happen. That would definitely happen. I think it would happen. So yes, if the let's just you don't even have to say different team. Just flip the switch the roles. If the roles were reversed, then yes, there would be heavier suspensions. There would be a statement. It would be ugly. But I just think that the Messi and friends do kind of play by different rules, and they think they play by different rules. I mean, I've seen it. I see all these actions, like the way they talk, the way they act to these other players. And look, it's okay to be chippy and talk smack and all that, but it's like the grabbing by the necks and the pushing and the tripping and the fouls and the spitting and the punching and all this stuff. It is I just think that they think they can do what they want, right? I just think that they don't think that they will get consequences. There will be no consequences for what they do. And like I said, I'm a Barcelona fan, so I have an admiration for all these guys, to be honest with you, because they all played for my team. But you have to call it what it is. And they do play with a I don't want to say a sense of entitlement, but like that they don't play by any rules. And that's just really frustrating because it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Cringe says Messi owns the league, guys. He was solely responsible for bringing the Apple deal, which led to the league making 250 million. Inter Miami sells more jerseys than any other team in MLS in the world, to be honest. And look, I understand that, but there still has to be consequences for actions. I understand that Messi does a lot for this league and he's been important for this league, but there's still, you can't just you turn a blind eye. You have to hold people accountable. You have to hold people accountable when they do something wrong, especially in like something like this. Wade says, Will, if this was new who's spinning on a security guard, he would be sent to the phantom zone. Yeah, he definitely would. I mean, they would probably, he'd probably be thrown through a black hole or something for sure. They would. He'd be in another reality. Jacob says the Apple deal is terrible. Timothy Park says Mascherano doesn't have control of his team. This is on him. And I made that point the other day that Mascherano definitely deserves blame because these players don't respect him in a leadership role. They don't listen. Like he just does not have a good, he doesn't have any control over his team. His team is undisciplined. That's a better way to say it. His team is undisciplined. His team is undisciplined. He doesn't have control over them. His tactics are shitty. You know, that's a whole separate thing. He's just not a good manager. He's just not a good manager. So, yeah, he's bad too. He deserves some blame for this. But the league deserves blame because it happened and they're not holding them accountable. I mean, that's a fact. It's a fact. It's unacceptable. So, Wade says, bro, you can't spit on people, but players and headlocks and punching players not have repercussions. I can't believe what the hell did Toto Alvarez do? What did Toto Alvarez do worse than punching someone to get an extra game over Sergio Busquets? I don't understand that. Mr. says Mascherano is just one of the boys. It feels like that. It does feel like, I mean, he was part of the Barca team. I mean, he played with all these guys. It does feel like that. So yeah, guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I mean, like I said, I'm just so disappointed because I figured there would be at least something by the league by now, like some type of statement. And the fact that we haven't heard anything is very disheartening. Even Miami and Suarez put out a BS apology, and we've heard nothing from the league. And I just think that they could be doing more than what they're doing, and they're afraid to do it. And it makes you kind of lose some confidence in the league because you want them to hold a certain integrity. and you want them to hold everyone to the same level of responsibility and accountability. And that's just very frustrating. So I'm disappointed. I think you guys should be disappointed, and we'll see what happens. But even if they do issue a suspension, I guess it's better late than never. But it just feels like that happened a little bit too late. You hate Messi. You are biased. You hate Messi so much. That's funny. I think that's funny. That's hilarious because that's literally the opposite of what everybody says. But whatever. Um, we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens, and a simple apology is fine. Yeah, but you still have to have some accountability. You can't just do whatever you want and apologize and everything is good. You have to you do something wrong. You have to be held accountable. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm disappointed. I don't think anything is going to happen. I think this is a loophole for the league to not suspend anybody, which is a damn shame, but we'll see. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section if you guys are disappointed, like me. If you guys enjoyed this video, like I said, give it a like down below. Try to get to 100 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 290 until we hit 10,000. Huge achievement for the biggest MLS content creator that there is, which is thanks to you guys and your support. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. I will be back tomorrow with a post-game recap for the South Korea USMNT match. So be on the lookout for that. And until next time, guys, hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you all soon.